What is up, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, giving you commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Thank you guys so much for joining. I want to talk about a couple of quick things that I saw that I found very interesting. First off, it was great to see Jey Uso get on the serious side. We haven't seen that since Indianapolis at the Royal Rumble. But in any event, moving forward, I'm rooting for Jey to defeat Gunther at WrestleMania. And I'm actually, since WWE is finally embracing the power of prayer, apparently, I am praying to the Lord myself that Jey Uso wins. But I'm also praying that God has mercy on the soul of Gunther, because in life, like Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 15, you reap what you sow. Since we're talking about the Lord, that's what the good book says. And speaking of spirituality, I don't know who's going to win between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. However, I do know that tonight Valkyria took a victory over Bayley. We thought Bayley was going to snap for a second, but she still handled her loss gracefully. We saw LWO versus the Alpha Academy and Chad Gable in a mask. By the way, great showing by the LWO. I cannot wait to see Rey Mysterio expose Chad Gable literally and sheesh his mouth. Also, more triple threat matches, but this time it is official. Rhea Ripley, who is no longer a part of the Judgment Day, by the way, Adam Pearce, will face Bianca and women's champion Io Sky, who is tired of being the afterthought. And in my personal humble opinion, I don't know. My money is between, well, I don't want to say money because I don't believe in gambling like that, especially social gambles. Social gambles, somebody end up shot or something, so I don't gamble socially. DTA, don't trust anybody socially gambling. Too many shots get fired and somebody might get hurt or killed. But in any event, my prediction is between Bianca to remain undefeated at WrestleMania or Io Sky. A part of me is thinking that Io Sky is going to retain her Women's World Championship. And also in other news, the Viking Raiders and the New Day fight ends up in a disqualification, so I don't really know how that's going to play out in the meantime. I would love to see somebody align with Big E to take on the heel New Day, 2/3 of the New Day at WrestleMania. I'd like to see that, but it's a little late for that. And of course, Big E is still, we're not sure about his neck. One thing we are sure of is that we're going to get a fatal four-way. We got a whole lot of threesomes. Now we're going to get a fatal four-way at WrestleMania between the big dog, Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, Simp 19, Dom, and Penta. And to be honest with you, my money is on Braun Breaker to win that fatal four-way Intercontinental Championship match. However, I'm a little nervous about what's going to happen at this great triple threat match. See, this is one of the few times in WWE where all parties are fan favorites. We saw this at Survivor Series 2009 with Cena, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. Of course, at the time, because fans always treated John Cena 50-50, everyone was more so split between D-Generation X. However, this, besides the women's match, will be a match where all parties are fan favorites. Roman, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. But Seth Rollins, much like Bianca Belair, is getting a little bit heated due to irritation on the situation surrounding those two. Of course, Seth Rollins came out looking like, I don't know what that was, but pretty cool. And of course, made some very interesting points about how CM Punk left his best friend to go to AEW, claiming that he wasn't going to return to the company that made him sick in the first place. We talked about Roman Reigns leaving after he lost the championship and disappeared and left him in the hands of Bloodline 2.0 with Solo Sikoa, among others, excuse me. And so it had me thinking, is Seth Rollins going to have a plot twist where they're going to align Seth with Paul Heyman at the main event of WrestleMania? I don't know. But what I do know, I thought Seth Rollins, after CM Punk came to save Paul Heyman, because another favorite from Minneapolis, who is a friend of Paul, can't be there because he's in trouble. Keep that in mind. I'll tell you later. CM Punk came to save Paul Heyman because Brock Lesnar couldn't go to his hometown to do it because he's in big trouble. Of course, after Seth Rollins and CM Punk fought and CM Punk got caught in a curb stomp, Seth Rollins stomped and teased Paul Heyman, which I thought he did to prove a point. But now Seth wants a favor from Paul. Everyone's owed a favor. Paul Heyman is just owing a lot of favors lately. And now he's torn between his tribal chief, who he loves, his best friend in the world, and now somebody that doesn't even like him. And I do love how Seth Rollins keeps teasing Paul Heyman to hum the song. It's hilarious. But before I go, let me leave you with a very important message. Tonight, WWE Raw came to us from Minneapolis, Minnesota, which, by the way, is Suplex City capital. However, the mayor of Suplex City capital, Brock Lesnar, could not be on Raw tonight. Why? Because he is being named in a lawsuit. I'm not going to say the specific details, but what I am saying is, remember, folks, make good choices, because if not for bad decisions, allegedly, we could have got Brock Lesnar versus Gunther. Make good decisions, people. And that is your inspirational moment of the day. Have a great week, everyone.